Welcome everybody to episode 128 of the effing title. I am Big Husky.
And I'm DeNutte. What's going on?
And we are both at different locations today. This is all just green screen behind me.
It's all green screen.
The whole thing. All of it.
I just realized the fan looks like a halo. So we're just going to leave it.
Talk about your halo.
Halo.
Such an underrated song. How about that shit?
Well, I think it was Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
I think a properly rated song.
Okay.
That and Drunken Love.
Oh, Drunken Love. All right, love
That's
it.
It's an all time banger.
What are you drinking on over there? What is that?
This is a Baja Blast.
What?
Mountain Dew Energy.
I'm gonna have to see if they have one of those.
25 calories.
Ooh.
It doesn't quite taste like. It's not. It doesn't nail Baja Blast, but it's close enough. It's 25 calories.
All right, fair. I'm sticking to the regular, the coffee that I always do during these, even though it's fucking 87.
I'm in the AC right now, baby. It's great.
I got a fan blowing on my junk, so it's good enough for me. How's your week been?
It's been good. It was a good week. I'm up at the lake this weekend.
Up at the lake? See, look at this commitment. Look at the commitment here. Up at the lake. And he's like, you know what? Nah, we'll still do it. I just got to figure this shit out. And we figured this shit out.
Yeah.
So what? I'm trying to think of what's happened this week that we can talk about before we get to the grand skeptical of the show.
What happened this week?
Stranger Things 2 dropped, but I don't know if we really want to talk about that because it just came out.
Have you watched it?
No. I'm not going to. I haven't watched any of the Stranger Things.
You're on Netflix, so every week I'm like, oh yeah, you're on Netflix.
It's Netflix, but then also I've never seen any of them, so it's like I just
okay.
I've heard mixed results.
Yeah,
I have.
I watched the first episode.
Oh, okay.
The first episode of the one, so they came out with 2 episodes on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the first one, hour and a half. Second one's 2.5. I haven't watched it, so we'll see what happens. I might watch it in a little bit here after, but I have some friends coming up soon, so which is funny because last night my buddy and his wife came up, and I think we played UFC 4 on Game Pass. I think we played it for 3 hours.
I love that.
From like midnight, we played till like 3 a.m. And we were drinking heavily. I was drinking high noons. Not high noons. They're like the same thing as high noons. They're like those the liquor cans. Just drinking way too much. UFC 4. We're screaming at each other until 3 in the morning. Like, one more.
You gotta love that as well, right? If you're up at the lake, you can do that. No one around, no one to bother you. Just kind of.
There are neighbors, but I think that house is still empty. But it's not. It's like if you're in a house. It's basically it's an Airbnb.
All right, I get to go to the lake on Thursday.
Oh yeah, where are you going?
It's up to where my boss has a house, so we're doing a little work function up at the lake house.
You decided for that?
No.
Okay.
It's a no and yes. It's one of those ones where it's like.
Well, you're going.
Yeah, I'm going. It's just a lot of the people it's always the same thing. It's like it's okay for the first hour, and then people will feel like they have to be inclined to ask me how streaming and the gaming stuff is, as their words are. How is the gaming stuff?
How's the gaming thing going?
And then as I'm talking to them about it, I can physically see them playing like the 1970s cartoons in their head. You know? So it's one of those things, it's like, if you don't care, just don't fucking ask. I really don't give a shit. Just, give me a beer and leave me alone.
Oh, there was someone at one of those things I was asking about something, and they completely thought that's, what I was doing. And I was like, no, I want to know about it. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, no. So that's always a thing, too. Sometimes people want to know. But you know the people there.
Yeah.
It was someone's wife, and I was like, oh, how's that going? And they're like, well, but so today we're gonna count down our top 5 horror movies. we think are our top
Yeah.
5 horror movies, not necessarily the top
So
5
it's yeah,
horror
so
movies.
it's our personal top 5 horror movies, right? And I thought the best way that we can do this is we go 5 and up, right? And we go one and one.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Do draft, yeah. You snake draft.
Oh, what? So like 5,
No,
5, 4.
It's only 2 of us, so it's just 2 of us. So this shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't finalize my list. Let me finalize my list real
I
quick.
was gonna say, you want me to go first then?
1, 2, 3, 4. I can get rid of that one. And I can get rid of that one. All right.
All right. So, do you want to go first? You want me to go
List is ready.
first?
You go first.
All right. So, my number 5 horror movie of all time. Right, and I got to write it. I got to type it in as well. So, is Velocipaster.
Okay. Is that? I didn't know that was horror.
It counts as bro. I looked it up.
Okay.
It counts as everything.
Well, I guess does Sharknado count as horror? Do they count that as horror? Or is that like too self-aware?
See, that's the thing though. If that's too self-aware, Velocipaster is too self-aware. I'm also not gonna lie to you. I'm probably just gonna put Velocipaster on every single one of these.
Okay. You're like Velocipaster.
It is it's just such a shit show of a fucking movie. Now that you say that though, I am going to look real quick. It says action comedy.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna type in horror and see if it comes up.
There's 2 on my list. I actually had to look up to see if it was horror too. So don't worry.
So this one says YouTube, The Velocipaster full free horror movie.
Okay. Well, we'll take that. Hey, it's about a velociraptor who kills people.
No, it's about a pastor that cuts his hand on a dinosaur bone, and when he gets mad, he turns into a velociraptor and kills people. And his sidekick is a prostitute.
Okay.
And it goes from there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So there's like 7 different subplots within the movie. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. You've told.
We're going to watch it one week
week
because you need to, because it is just it's one of those ones where it's like it's almost like the full like highway car scene where like everyone's crashing but you can't look away, and it just gets worse and worse and worse.
It's actually the Velocipaster, I guess.
Well, you know what, bro? I just make me have to go back in and change and all this stuff. The funniest thing is though is that you see
this one right here.
So that right there, that is more editing and CGI in that poster than there is in the entire fucking movie.
You know, I thought the movie was older than this. It said it came out in 2018. I thought that was a much older movie, like Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
Which. Also a horror movie.
But yeah, no, I'm putting the Velocipaster as my 5th. It's one of those ones where it's like there are horror scenes, but they're not really, like it's the thing where like someone's getting killed and they're screaming. But it's one of those things where like if I'm like go to a 3rd grader and I'm like, okay, act like you just got killed, and they're it's one of those fucking things,
All right. My list is finalized. I didn't do that prep. Velocipaster number 5. My number 5 is the Babadook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to help me with spelling this one. The
B-A-B-A.
Yep.
Duke. D-O-O-K.
Oh. So I saw this on a bunch of different lists and everything. Haven't seen it.
So a big thing, that's how you spell it. A big thing with my list, my brand of horror is like, I love things that make you, broke the chair, makes you uncomfortable. I hate, like, if it makes me uncomfortable, I like it. Like Conjuring and Insidious, I love those 2 movies. Series. I love those movie series, but those didn't make my list.
I was gonna say, did you if it's an uncomfortable thing, then did you like the what was it, Saw 2 with the needle pit?
I've only ever seen
I don't know if it's 2 now that I say it.
Saw like 3D.
Okay.
I never really
So
saw
there's
him.
one scene.
I don't know. I saw the first one.
Yeah, so there's a scene in one of the in one of the sequels. It's either 2 or 3. I want to say it's 2, where like they uncover a pit of needles, and like the junkie is like supposed to go in there and get like the antidote.
It's tailored to him.
But instead, he grabs some other girl and just hucks her into it. So she's like freaking out while needles are in her. Like it physically shows needles in her, and she like fully loses her fucking mind and just starts full open handing, just pushing the needles. It's it's an uncomfortable like. I looked away.
It's like that movie and Hostel. Did you see Hostel?
I saw the first one, and I like majority of that movie. I'm pretty sure I spent like this.
You're like, oh,
yeah,
like one of those. Hostel was the more extreme one. Like, I did see the first Saw, and then I also saw Scary Movie 5. Babadook. It's actually go back to that. Yeah, yep. It's about a mom and a son dealing with grief.
Okay.
And this entity, well, it's kind of up for, like, it's debate, because some people are like, yeah, obviously, and some people are like, no. So there's a creature that manifests from the mother's grief.
Oh.
From losing her husband. It's been a lot of these movies I can only watch. I've only seen once or twice because they're not easy watches. Like that sort. So Babadook. I think that's my movies that are really good to me. I can't watch a bunch of times.
That's fair.
So this creature forms and it terrorizes her life, and the son's going through a lot. She's going through a lot, and the noise that it makes in the movies, it's giving me chills thinking about it right now. But I won't spoil anything. But it's like she comes to terms with their grief, but she also comes to terms with the entity itself. So
okay.
it's like there's a weird metaphor in there that some people argue that it's real and that there's actually an entity, and some people are like, oh, she's just it's never was real. She's lost her mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice little fuckery in the mental part of it as well, right?
Yeah, because I when it came out, a bunch, it was one of those popular horror movies at the time that people were talking about, and I had a friend that was like, it's not real, it's all in her head, and I was like, no, it's real. So.
That's interesting though that you as someone else that you watched it with and they had a different viewpoint of it, and that's an aspect of what some of people have said. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that's number 5.
All right,
Babadook.
I'm gonna start.
I think it's Scott. I'm really bad with. I think it's either a New Zealand horror movie or a UK one.
I want to say the Babadook.
I think it's New Zealand.
Yeah, the Babadook is a myth, a legend, anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to say.
I have to look it up.
All right, while you're looking up I'm going to switch my list up a little bit here, live.
Australia.
There we go.
Australia. There we go.
Aussies with their weird things. My number 4 horror movie. You ready for this one? This would be a fucking throwback. 28 Days Later.
Okay.
I thought that.
Can we get a spoiler on this one?
Yes. Yes. This one has been so long, and I'm pretty sure the majority of people have seen this.
For my 4, I had 28 Days Later /Weeks.
Oh, okay. You had it too.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Actually, yeah, my number 4.
So 28 days /weeks later.
Yeah.
So I didn't include
28
weeks.
Days is definitely the superior of the two movies. But I think it was a rare. You know how a lot of horror movies. I totally hijacked your thing. I'm sorry. Let me.
No. No. This is fine because now we can both just openly together do this one.
Weeks, I think, was whenever we get a sequel for a horror movie, it's usually a straight to DVD, low budget. 28 Weeks was actually one of the rare ones where it got a bigger budget. It was very commercialized, but it didn't do very well. It was Jeremy Renner.
That was the other thing as well, is going from Cillian Murphy and the old guy there with the beard.
Oh, it's Gleason.
Yes. Going from
God,
those two, I felt like you had like like a solid like two leads almost there. I mean, Cillian Murphy killed it in that movie in the first one.
yeah.
But then going from that to two or to weeks, I felt like they kind of lost it with the cast.
I would feel the opposite. They went. I thought they did great because they had a blown up Jeremy Renner, Rose Byrne. That's what I couldn't remember her name.
Oh yeah.
Idris Elba was a supporting, but then Imogen Poots, who's been like a pretty up and comer for the last few years. She was the daughter that came back to London.
Maybe I don't remember Weeks that well then.
Yeah, I just rewatched it a couple months ago, so it was like still fresh enough.
I'm still shocked that there hasn't been a 28 months or 28 years later. Because I heard at one point that they were going to do that. Because it makes sense that they did 28 days, then weeks. I had heard the rumor that they were going to do months, then years, and years was going to be like the final one. Like that sort of thing.
Oh, one of my favorite aspects of it is that, zombie movie.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know, it's just like a zombie movie, the rage virus. It doesn't kill the person, it's like a rabies.
Yeah.
So they do starve to death. And that's like the point of 28 weeks later, is that they're trying to repopulate the UK, bring everyone back, because everyone who was around had died because they're not smart enough to eat things. So everyone they all starved to death. So
well, I guess that's why I thought it would have been interesting to see 28 months and then years later to see that kind of fully more evolve, because then you can kind of play into the aspect of is it safe to go to these areas because it's been 28 months. That's
I remember I was I think I was up here. I threw on 28 days later. My mom's like, "What is this?" I don't know. That scene in London when he's walking through empty London. All that must have been so hard to set up. That must have been half their budget. It's just shutting down London.
Oh yeah.
Or closing down areas of London that they could go in. Also, obviously, probably it's probably 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning when they're doing it. But closing down London.
Still having to close down because I've gone to London. I went to London a couple times when I was in England. It was never one of those things that
you've been to England.
Yeah, I've been there a couple, 2-3 times. London's one of those ones that we never really went to a lot. We used to go to Oxford more just because it was closer. And so it didn't cost. It didn't cost as much to go to Oxford as it did to go to London. But when I first saw that scene where he's walking down the street in London, I'm just kind of was I could imagine what it was like to an extent, and just how eerie that would have been, because it's just it's like New York. There's fucking people everywhere.
And I also want to point out, I just actually finished Peaky Blinders. I love that the Cillian Murphy's always a true Brit, even though he's Irish.
Oh yeah. Well, it's that kind of that not that nationality. It's that the accent and just kind of the portrayal of it, right? That he does very well. It's kind of funny though that we have it there. I liked the aspect of it being a zombie movie, but they're not really zombies. They're just rage infected virus, that sort of thing. Running fast.
They're fast.
That scene where was it a crow that drops the blood into the guy's eye, or was it another person?
Oh,
that scene physically made me uncomfortable because they did it in slow mo, showing it fully hitting into the eye.
Also, it's the way they filmed it that they filmed it to be super gritty, and maybe it was low budget, but I don't know the budget on that one, but it was super gritty. Actually, now that I think about it, I went to a Yankees game at Old Yankee Stadium when Weeks was coming out, and this was I don't know, whatever that was. I think I was at middle school at the time. And when we were leaving, sorry, what's going on?
No, you're good. I was gonna look up.
So when it came out, we left the Yankees game, and they had a bunch of people in body bags out on outside of the game, and it was a promotion for 28 weeks later, and it was they had a big movie thing. I think they had a truck trailer with filled with bodies and stuff. It was very cool. It was
2007.
2007.
Yeah,
it's freshman in high school. I don't know. It was one of the coolest things I had like seen. So I'd never seen. You know, you always see on like Reddit and stuff like these.
You see the different things where it's like, oh, they're gonna do like, oh, there's like this, you know, like this marketing plan where like they have this or that, and you're like, yeah, okay, fuck off, like sure they did that, you know, but then like if you actually ever see it, it's like.
But at that point, you know, 2007, you don't have. I mean, the internet was a thing, but we didn't have like social media like we had, so like it would have been hard to see something like that.
Okay, so here we go. January 2015. Garland stated, "We just started talking about it seriously. We've got an idea, and I have been having quite serious conversations about it. So it's a possibility. It's complicated. There's a bunch of reasons why it's complicated, which are boring, so I won't get into it. Also, adding, it's more likely to be 28 months than 28 years. 28 months gives you one more place to go, hinting at the possibility of a fourth film as well." So that makes sense. If they made a third one, right, then and it does well, then they could potentially come back and do a fourth. And then in 2019, it was confirmed that Boyle and him had met recently to discuss and begin preparation on a third film. And then in 2020 and 2021, respectively, both Imogen Potts and Cillian Murphy stated they would be interested in reprising their roles. Which would be interesting, because if I remember correctly, right, Imogen Potts was only in the second one, and Cillian Murphy was in the first one. So they would be connecting the two.
I would love to see that tie together. Oh, man. Have you heard stuff about Oppenheimer? That seems like fucking real cool movie.
That's fucking... Like, have you seen the cast for that movie?
Yeah, Cillian Murphy, the star, and then, like, they keep adding people to it. I don't know. Sorry,
It's almost like to an it's to a bigger extent, I would say, than seeing the Rebel Moon cast that Zach's doing with Netflix. Every now and then you just see you just see a random new name get thrown to it. Like recently, he released a picture and it's like a guy in like a robotic druid outfit with fucking horns, and it just says Hopkins. And that's because he got Anthony Hopkins to come do the voice. Hopkins. I was like, I'm sitting there and I read that and I was like
well,
what
Hopkins
the fuck, bro?
Like old troll now.
Oh, yeah.
Be in like late 80s or 90s.
But like the fact that he was able to get him to come in to do like the voice acting for something, I was like, fuck, dude. Like, all right.
That's cool.
Good for you, Zach. Yeah, no, that'd be cool to see that tie-in, though, and to see third one. I like the idea of sequels that make sense, and I think that in that universe, seeing it 28 months would be cool, because 28 months is 2.5 years?
Yeah.
So that'd be,
2 and some change.
It'd be interesting to see that. But, alright, now we're in the top 3 territory.
Top 3 territory.
Top 3 territory.
What's your 3? I think it's very funny that we both... That's funny.
So, my number 3 is Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
That's my 2.
Is it your 2? Let's go.
It is my 2.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to put it in as your 2, and we can...
Yeah. That's why I said it. Yeah. Because, that's my 2.
I fucking love this movie.
Oh my god.
College
kids keep killing themselves.
It's arguably one of the funniest fucking things. Just seeing, like, I love the innovative ways as well that they had them killing themselves.
Oh my god. It just that's one of I had was like I think it's horror. I'm pretty sure. That's one I had to look up to see if it was horror.
Well, like so, when Jagger was doing a horror podcast at one point, and I was like one of his first guests on it, and we were talking about comedy horrors. Because for me, that's my like if I'm going to watch a horror movie, it's mostly a comedy horror, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and like I love this movie because it's this stereotypical, just hilarious. Like, oh, look at these rednecks in the woods. Oh, they're gonna kill us. They're evil. They're murderers. It's like, no, they're fucking.
Yeah. And then, like, the college kids are like, we gotta fight back. And they're like, gosh, why these college kids keep killing themselves? Kill themselves all in the woods. Oh, man. And
the safety's on that. The safety's on that. You may not want to.
I love Alan Tudyk. Amazing in that. He's, like, in everything.
Alan Tudyk does a very good job in a lot of the things that he does.
Even just a voice actor, he's like so versatile. And then I have like a weird love for Tyler Labine.
that was the first movie that I saw him in, and then after I watched that, I actually went out and found a bunch of other movies that he had done to go watch them. There's another one where he has, like, his wife is, oh, fuck, what's her name? She's another fucking actress that is, like, a bigger name actress, but she's in fucking everything, too.
His real wife?
It might be. I'm not sure what his real wife's name is, so...
Did you ever watch Reaper?
Reaper, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, it's a CW. It was an early CW show.
Then no shot.
And Tyler Lubine's the supporting star in it. The main star is he's the son of the son of the devil, and he has to like become a Green Reaper. He's half human, half Reaper, and he has to carry out reapings for the.
That sounds familiar.
It's a comedy. It's a horror comedy.
It sounds
show,
familiar.
Like 2 seasons, but everyone who watched it like loved it, and there was actually huge plans for the future of the show. There's 2 seasons.
Yeah, again, I can't see which fucking.
31.
I saw that one. That looks kind of interesting though. Little Evil, nope. The Boss, nope. Zoom, nope. Nope. Killing Winston Jones, maybe? No, it's not that one. Someone Mary Berry?
Oh, I love that one.
He's also in a Good Old Fashioned Orgy.
Yep, and then he's in Best Man Down, very briefly though, which is kind of funny.
I can't find the fucking movie. This is annoying me now.
Oh man, what does that say about us that 2 of our our top 5 has 2 of the same movies?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it might have another one here in a minute too.
Okay.
Is it Cottage County? Yes, it is, because it's Malin Ackerman. That's it. Cottage County. That's country. That's the one. Yeah. He has plans to propose to his wife. Things go wrong when his brother and free-spirited girlfriend show up, and Todd accidentally kills his brother with an axe. Yeah, it's another kind of like it's another one of those ones where it's like it's a horror comedy to an extent, but not really a horror comedy, but it is.
Okay. All right. My big thing is, probably my biggest takeaway is that, like, I could have had this as my one, and this one from my, like, if you're going to watch any of, like, the movies from this list, I think we could both agree to go watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Mm-hmm. It has we're not going to spoil anything, it has a great twist that you kind of see coming, but you don't expect it to go as far as it does.
No, it's so funny. It's like, there was a... Have you? Oh, you know, Netflix. There's this new Tim Robinson's.
Yep.
It's a comedy skit show on Netflix, and it's a guy that was like on SNL for a season or 2. But he gets on a plane, and the guy sits next to him, and he's like, "I've been plotting my revenge for you forever. I'm gonna like." It's actually Will Forte, and he's like, I'm gonna ruin your life. And then he does this whole thing, and then he's like, hey, and then there's an air marshal, and he just arrests him for, like, assault, and he's like, you're going away forever. And he's like, I got my revenge! I need my revenge! And so, like, that's what makes me think of it. Love you, Trav. Sign language in the
sign language in the chat. All right, so Travis, what is your number 3 then?
My number... Oh, God, I gotta pull it back up.
Because I'm gonna shit myself if your number 3 is my number 2.
Oh, it's Alien.
Oh, okay, it is not. I had that on my...
I didn't think... I was like, there's no way you picked Alien.
So Alien was on my 10 list.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
First Alien, the original Alien, 1979.
The OG. The original scary shit. The original fucking badass woman. Yeah.
Well, because did you ever play Alien Isolation?
Nope, but I've seen plenty of people play it.
I tried to make a series out of it when I was streaming, and it was so scary that I had to had to stop playing it because I was
Yeah, no,
I'd be like, oh, I can't do it.
It's one of those things. It's like I'd be watching like YouTubers playing it, and I'm getting scared.
Yeah.
Like I'm like pausing the video, walking off. Like I can't watch it anymore. I can't do it.
So there's a time where it's like simulated, where like you're running very beginning, you're running from the alien, but it's really like you're not meant to die. But like a couple times, so the alien will just come if you're really going through the game, and it will randomly come through the game and like try to find you, and you got to hide and get away from it.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't deal with. I couldn't deal with that.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't. And then it was really funny. I never did it this way, but it was like an original Xbox One launch game, which is crazy because it still looks beautiful. I was playing it like a year ago, and it looks beautiful. It if you had your Kinect hooked up, the alien, you could have it. There was a setting so the alien could hear you through the Kinect and find you.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
No.
So that was a whole, and that was which is funny because it was an Xbox only thing because PlayStation didn't have it.
So
and PC doesn't have it.
I remember I was watching someone play it, and when it first came out, there wasn't a randomization to the alien. The alien was coded to go at certain times and certain things depending on where you were. So this guy got stuck in a like one of the like cabinets, and it was one of the ones that was like bugged, so no matter what it would find you in it, and that was the save point. So he would die, come back to the save point, freak out because now he has to find a way to get out and run away from the alien, which is right there because it's coded to be right there. Like, and I remember watching that, and it was just pure panic the entire time on his end and my end. So
yeah. You know, it's when you have your headphones in. Yeah, we completely walked away from the movie.
Yeah.
Movie was amazing. 79. The practical effects in it.
It's one of those things that did.
Sigourney Weaver.
It's one of those. It's the iconic classic that is just like it changed the game. It's like a Star Wars one. It changed the game to an extent.
Yep.
At that time, there was nothing like that, right?
Well, like that and The Thing.
Yeah, that was the other one that I was thinking, but I wasn't 100% sure on that one.
I think The Thing came out in 78.
So still, think about that though. I mean, because if that came out in 78, you know that means the alien was
82.
82.
So after.
Still, I mean, so think about that though. I mean, within less than 5 years, those two came out. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of
so. Which is crazy because he did John Carpenter did it, and like some of the other movies he did were like very different than The Thing.
You know the movie is the shit when it is the director's name and then the name of the movie. John Carpenter's The Thing. Like that's how you like.
Oh, yeah. It was Alien Ridley.
Yeah.
It is okay. Yeah, Ridley Scott. Yeah. You're right. Okay.
He also did Prometheus.
Okay, yeah. Well,
because Prometheus was supposed to be.
Did you see the one after that? They did another one.
I heard
Alien something Covenant.
I think I've seen it.
It sucked. It was what's funny because I know Prometheus had mixed feeling and like mixed thoughts. You know, I thought Prometheus was good. I liked it.
I found it interesting that Prometheus was not supposed to be an alien thing, but it was so closely tied to Alien in so many aspects that, like, then eventually everybody was just like, kind of like, fuck it, it's Alien.
Well, Alien Covenant is a direct sequel to Prometheus.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's why they made that one, to be honest with you. If they made that movie because so many people they came out and was like, oh, you know, Prometheus, this isn't an alien thing, and then so many people were like, this looks like a fucking alien thing, and then they were like, you know what, fuck it, then we're gonna just. I
think they were playing coy. I think they're like, it's not alien.
Oh, kind of like the modern day, like I'm not in this superhero movie, like.
Yeah. I think it was always Alien because like everything it was Alien. So
I can see that.
Well, because big thing was like the androids. The android was the same.
Yes, it was. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so
it was fucking Magneto.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, fucking Magneto.
Yeah. So that's my take. I'm like that was what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because then well, we never got a Neil Blomkamp Alien, and that would have been amazing.
I heard that we were supposed to be getting a District 10.
District 10.
I think we're actually getting it now. Like, it's going to be coming out
soon.
soon.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. Or either it's going to come out soon or they're going to start filming soon. One of the two. Like, there's actually been, like, talks of it, like...
Well, we just need our man Vic is back. I
fucking love that movie. District 9 was such a fucking cool movie.
Such a cool movie. And, like, I think those effects still hold up.
Yes. Alright, so number 2 on my end is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, baby.
That actually would probably be in my top 10 movies of all time. I didn't think about it. I've seen that movie 30, 50 times.
I couldn't not have Shaun of the Dead on the list. Like, it is, like...
Oh, my God.
Like, and as you can see, right, if you look up my list, right, it is so comedy-driven. Because it's hard for me personally to watch horror. I'm not a horror guy.
Only number 4.
Yeah.
The rest of them are, like, comedy-driven.
Exactly. So, like, for me, though, Shaun of the Dead was, like, the perfect, like... It isn't a parody of zombie movies. It's just a zombie movie that's funny. And that's what I thought was they made it so it was perfectly enough so it wasn't trying to, like, parody and fuck with, but just enough to kind of, like, tongue-in-cheek it a little bit, you know?
You got red on you? You got red on you?
I still say that to this day every now and then. You got red on you.
Yeah. You know what's really...
Fucking shit.
That guy's drunk. Just I know exactly. Like, God, I'm upset that I don't have that because, like, I would probably say the Cornetto trilogy is probably in my top 10. I like when those, like, a lot of those things, I count them as one. It's like,
you know what? Here, that's what we'll do. Maybe not next week. Maybe we'll do it in a week or two. But we'll do the top 5 trilogies.
Okay. Well, I mean, that would just be on there. So
yeah, well, I mean, that'd be on both of ours. Yeah. So it's just where on both of ours,
though.
Damn it, I wouldn't be able to put the Bus Passer on it, though. God damn it, maybe not.
So Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Fucking just a good movie. I think that's really what that launched. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yes.
That launched their American careers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had their shows, they had, like, a race, they had
their little, like, thing in England, and I even think in Canada that they were doing. I forgot what show it was. There was a show that they were a part of that was massive, and then it also brought Edgar Wright to the scene as well.
Yeah.
Which I still want to see Edgar Wright's version of Ant-Man. I still want to see it. Because
did you like Ant-Man?
I think Ant-Man is a weird one anyway. Yeah. But, like, I feel like because you know how I feel with the MCU movies and the forced humor and everything. I feel like the forced humor was added, like, there was a little bit less of it, but a little bit more slapstick, which I was okay with.
Okay.
But
it was a goofy movie, and it was always a goofy movie.
But that was my thing, is that, like, the whole time I'm watching it, the only thing I can think of, and it's one of the problems with me with these sort of movies and knowing this backstory with stuff and everything, is, like, I'm watching it, and the whole time I'm just sitting there thinking, like, how would Edgar Wright have done this? Because that's just, like, it's the same thing with a lot of, like to an extent, that's what I was thinking with the Batman when I was watching that. Was like, it's like, okay, you know, there's elements of this that we know was taken from Ben's version that he was supposed to write, you know, and then, like, it's like the same thing with, like, anything I see Flash related. It's like, well, Rick Fumagala. Oh God, I can't fucking say his last name.
Oh, I actually had to look up who wrote it, who directed it. Peyton Reed.
Yep. And I think he did Yes Man.
You know who? Actually, wow. 4 people wrote the screenplay for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
yeah, Edgar Wright, Joe Cornish, Adam McKay, and Paul Rudd.
Yeah. And then Edgar Wright's version got, like, completely scrapped, though. Because so Edgar Wright said, "This is what I want to do," and they looked at it and they were like, "We want you to change this," and he said, "No, this is what I want to do," and they're like, "Well, sorry," and he's like, "Okay," and they left.
Disney overlords.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's like, but you know, that's my other thing. Like, it launched.
What do you like?
It launched so much. That was my thing. I was gonna say, like so many different
Well,
things.
a lot of people don't like those two movies, and they're like consider those like their least the like the weakest Marvel movies. And I think like no, I think we need stuff like that. That's not the same because like people are loving Miss Marvel right now.
Mhm.
I haven't watched any of it, but it's like it's definitely, and it's like big thing is like it's definitely for kids more than adults, but people are liking it because it's different.
Yeah, well, like, that's the thing, right? It's like and it's one of the things that I've talked about with DC stuff is that like DC, I think DC is best when it is grounded in reality and dark. Now, here's my thing though: is you can have both of those things, but have the movies each be drastically different looking, right? We've seen it already with the Snyder Cut. We've seen it with the original Wonder Woman. We've seen it with Shazam. Each one of those movies are drastically different movies, but they're grounded and they're dark. You know, and I think that that's where they play best in their ballhouse. Marvel's best ballhouse is it's a comedy movie. I'm going to put that first. All of these movies all the Marvel movies are comedy movies first. They're comedy actions.
Ragnarok comes out Friday, so
yeah. See, that's yeah.
Not Ragnarok.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know. But no, yeah.
No,
but there's a comedy actions, but it's the type of comedy in each one that I think is what should change in the movies, right? Because it seems like the comedy across the board is just the fucking same. That's my little rant.
That's your little Marvel rant of the week.
Yeah, my little Marvel rant of the week. I fucking hate Marvel rant of the week.
What did you like, Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz more?
I'm gonna say Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Hot Fuzz simply just because Hot Fuzz is the town that they go to was like the town I grew up in to an extent.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just a little community, little town. Like there's nothing wrong here. Yeah, there's nothing wrong here. Meanwhile, we're getting our asses. The kids are getting their asses beat by the fucking high schoolers that are in the town, and nobody's doing anything, and like that sort of thing. It's like that one just like hit home a little bit more than Shaun of the Dead did. As an adult, I do like Shaun of the Dead more because it's like yeah, I can see going down to the pub and getting shit faced, and it's like there's a zombie apocalypse. What do we do? Let's go to the pub.
Let's go to the Winchester.
Yeah, exactly. Let's And then
that gun above the bar works, right?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does.
Fucking told you. Man, I love that movie so much.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, my two is Tucker and Dale. So
yeah. So do you want to go one then, and then I go one, or you want me to go one?
Well, let me see what my one is. I'm glad I numbered them. Oh, you go first because I think my one is something.
Okay, so my one, and it's completely like you're gonna see the rest of my list and then see my one and be like, okay, Husky, sure. My number one is Get Out.
Okay.
I just think that is such a overall it's suspenseful. You can kind of see what's happening, but it still gets you even while you see it's coming. I think it's perfectly acted, and the way that Jordan Peele filmed it as well, I think it was really good. With this being his first major movie, and I think that it is an uneasy, unsettling movie that to me it's one of the best horror movies I've seen.
So I was thinking about Get Out, and I think between Get Out and Us, I preferred Us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Get Out and Us would be in my top 10.
Yeah, I think and that's one of those when Nope comes out. I don't know if we could technically list them as a trilogy, right? But if we ever could, I would assume that would be in the top 5. Because I mean,
I'm avoiding trailers for Nope.
I did a trailer reaction to Nope, uploaded it, it got claimed and blocked.
That's right, you're saying.
I'm sitting there like you fucking assholes.
Well, was it for that 3-minute trailer?
Yeah, because it was the song that was playing throughout the entire thing.
I refused to watch it because I feel like that will just give it. I don't know.
I will say it does, but I think it does, but at the same time, it it's one of those things where you watch the trailer, it gives a lot away, but then at the same time, you're sitting there I have so many fucking questions now. Because I think that's what was my reaction to it. Was I just don't. I have questions,
Mm-hmm.
But I when I watched Get Out, because I remember seeing it, I remember all the how it was either one of two sides to it, either you liked it or you thought it was propaganda. And I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want to see this. It's Jordan Peele. I've heard good things from the people that I know personally that've seen it. I was like, I've heard good things. I watched it and I was fucking just,
Yeah, it's like that movie stresses you out.
Yeah.
Like that's like a movie that makes you uncomfortable. And I've only seen it once because it made me uncomfortable, but I loved it. That was like another, like that's what I mean. Like that would have been following for my list. I'd like anytime he's like going down in the deep place, a dark place. What do they call it when he goes down?
Oh, it is a dark place, isn't it? I was like,
the dark place. Yeah, okay, dark place. Yeah,
you keep going. I'll look it up.
Visually disturbing. Yeah,
yes.
Travis. Like it's Get Out. Love Get. But then I loved they had like the Upside Down. That's
the Sunken Place.
Stranger Things. The Sunken Place.
The Sunken
Dark
Place.
And then I actually loved that like they made fun of like you could just make fun of white culture for a while, just like talking about the Sunken Place.
Mm-hmm.
It just would just make me giggle. I was like, you're right.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like it's one of those things where, like, you're seeing certain things happen and everything, and you're just like, it's one of those things that's like, you're right. Like,
you're right.
I ain't gonna argue about this. You're right.
Yeah. Oh man, that's fun. And did you see the alternate ending?
Yes. I think. Which one's the alternate one where he gets where the cops show up, or is it when his friend shows up?
His friend, the original, the one they went was when his friend shows up and saves him, and he's like, "How did you find me?" And he's like, "I'm TSA, bitch," whatever he says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm motherfucking TSA. I think that's actually what he says. But then the alternate is that the cops go up and arrest him, and he's like in prison he's like in jail for murder, like the prison, like doing the whole thing. And he's like, "Dude, we can fight this." His friend goes and sees him. He's like, "We can fight this." He's like, "Nah, we're good."
In the original ending, Chris is arrested by the police after strangling Rose. Instead of rescuing Chris, Rod meets him in jail and asks him for information about the Armitage family to investigate, but Chris insists that he stopped them and everything is fine. Peele intended this ending to reflect the realities of racism. By the time the production had begun, however, several high-profile police shootings of black people had made discussion, in Peele's words, more woke. After gauging reception at test screenings, he decided the film needed a happy ending, but felt a moment when the audience believes Chris is about to be arrested that would be reserved the intended reaction. And that's why he has the car rolls up slowly, and then you see it's Rod getting out.
Also, it's kind of dark to strangle someone to death. I think that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. More uncomfortable than him just shooting her, which is kind of wild. But I think strangling triggers a lot of people. Yeah.
Lauren A. Bakary in The Guardian wrote, "The villains here aren't southern rednecks or neo-Nazi skinheads or the so-called alt-right. They're middle-class white liberals."
Oh, it literally, like, it was funny you bring that up because I went to a house party, my sister's friends last night, and like they were all rich white Republicans.
Oh, good.
And my sister's like, you're in the enemy place, because I'm more of a liberal guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I'm not.
Place.
Yeah, and I was like, she's like, you're amongst the enemy. I was like, shut up, because my sister's she's like Republican, through and through, and I'm like, who do you think I am? I'm not a crazy. I literally was like, I'm not a blue hair. I'm just like, and she's like, what does that mean? And I was like, I'll tell you when you're older. They were all like a bunch of rich Republicans.
I see. That's the thing is that I lean a little bit more right.
Yeah.
But it's funny though because as soon as I get it's like that thing where it's like I'm almost more comfortable around people that are left than the right because the rich white people that are just all snotty and I'm better than you. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, I shouldn't be saying this, but it was someone's birthday and someone got her a joke gift. It was like a Kamala Harris calendar.
Yeah.
And she literally threw it across the room. She's like, "Who got me this trash?" I'm like, "Oh man."
Oh Jesus Christ.
And it just made me laugh. And that's what I feel like. That's Like, it seems like that would be the group of people that would harvest black people's bodies.
Yeah. All right.
My number one.
You're number one.
Bone Tomahawk.
Okay.
Bone Tomahawk.
Go on, because I'm gonna have to look this up.
Okay.
Did I spell Tomahawk right? Tom A. Hawk.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. So you start going on while I look this up. 2015.
Bone.
Kurt Russell.
Yep.
Oh, it's a Western cannibal film. All right, was not expecting this from you.
Western horror. Yeah. Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, Richard Jenkins, Lily Simmons, who kind of like was popping up a little bit. Evan. No, what was he in?
Matthew Fox. Okay.
Yeah. David Arquette.
Fucking David Arquette.
So this is a movie I only watched once because it's not an easy watch. I had a girlfriend and we were like watching different movies, and then I was on Reddit one day, and the post was literally like, "Tell me what movie that is known." Okay. Bone Tomahawk was great, and that's actually what he's talking about. This is so like. This movie, there's certain movies he brings it up, and then like you say something and that someone has seen it, and you're like, "What about that scene, dude?" And they're like, "Oh my god!" And there's there's like a scene in this movie. I do not want to spoil it, but once you see it, you'd be like, "Oh, that scene."
I think I saw something about it because I just, of course, now I'm not gonna lie, I have the trailer up right now.
Yeah.
Very quiet though,
yeah,
so then I don't get in trouble for it. But
it's about an Indian tribe who steals a guy's wife from like an old western town, like early prospecting town, and like it's the sheriff and everyone in it, not everyone, but like the strong man. They're like, "We're gonna go save this dude's wife," and maybe for bad motives, good motives, and it's about them trying to save the wife, and you can't unsee it. And I want to say so badly what the scene is. That's something you have to see for yourself, and and like the tribe's basically like a supernatural. What? Nope.
Okay.
Oh, that happens in it, but that's not the bad thing in it, which is funny.
All right.
Yeah. That's not even the bad thing. It's just a movie that I do not want to spoil, and I almost want to tell you to like do that as your homework to see that.
Well, my dad is a huge Western lover.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So now it's making me.
Horror?
Well, he doesn't. He's like me.
Doesn't.
He's like me. He doesn't like horror. He doesn't like if he wants to be entertained, right? Then he's going to be entertained. But like,
Travis. Yeah, it would ruin the whole movie if I told you the scene. But there's just one scene that you went, oh my god! Like I'm like literally jazzed up thinking about it.
Yeah, see, I'm watching the trailer right now, and the trailer is just the trailer is making me feel uneasy.
Yep, it makes you feel uneasy the whole movie, and that's why I like it so much. And slow burn. That's the way.
Also, I mean, it's one of those things. Like I'm like just.
You there? Oh. Did you just get it spoiled?
I don't know, bro. There was something in the trailer that... nope. Not a fan of that. Whatever just happened there, not a fan of that. Does the thing... The thing, is it something that involves Kurt Russell? The scene that you're talking about.
I think, maybe? I can't actually remember.
Because the scene that...
Describe...
something goes into his mouth.
Oh, no, that's not it. That's not the worst one.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro. I don't know if I want to watch this
now. There's a lot of really... That's the thing is, like, there's a lot of really disturbing stuff in the movie, but the one scene, you fucking know what it is. You'll know what it's like. It's a really fucked up movie. All like through and through, it's a fucked up movie. But like, yeah. That's why it's my number one.
Okay.
It's like I was like, it's got to just be like his. I was like, as soon as we did it, like that was the first thing I put down on my list was Bone Tomahawk.
The first thing I put down on my list was Velocipaster. So.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So now just to so there's our top 5 right there. Boom. This is our personal top 5s.
Personal top 5. People are gonna be upset with it. People are gonna be like, these fucking 2 idiots. They have 28 Days Later and Tucker and Dale versus Evil on their top 5.
So here's what is some other movies that you had on your list? Just random. Let's just throw.
I had Midsummer.
Okay. Never seen it, so I was, but I've heard great things though.
That was like that when I was like, I gotta finalize it. Midsummer. I got rid of the other one. I don't know why I deleted it. Midsummer. I mean, like Hereditary. Those 2 movies go hand in hand.
So
I got in a fight on Facebook the other day about the movie Old with someone.
I love this. I love whenever anyone starts a conversation with "I got a fight with someone on Facebook," you know it's going to be a grade A story.
Yeah, which is like, and I never, I like, Ari Aster, yeah, fucking Ari Aster did Hereditary and Midsummer. So Old. Did you see Old?
No, but we've talked about it. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
All right, so so you know, have you ever heard of Cracked? It's like they started a long time with like top 5s and like
okay, yeah. When you first said it, I'm sitting there like Cracked, like that's a very like cracked like cocaine, like
yeah, because it's very yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's
a comedy
yeah.
website.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to be like really funny. I mean, 2011 to 2013, I was on Cracked every day reading articles. Like,
okay.
Me and my buddy would text each other about the articles. I loved it. And then like it was like bad. And now you just like read stuff and it's just like, fuck. They were like, fuck it. Old is such a piece of shit. It's like stupid. Like none of this would make sense. Like, what do you mean you go to a beach and get old? I'm like, oh. And then I was like, clearly like,
what do you mean you go to a beach and get old?
And then I was like, oh, hey, I'm cracked. Like, sci-fi. Like, what do you mean sci-fi? What happens in sci-fi isn't real? I'm like, that's the whole point of science fiction. Like, you know, like, you don't, it's not something that, like, it's something that hasn't happened. It's never, like, probably will never happen. Like, but it's, like, it's all to the imagination. You're like, you mean this imaginary thing? I was, like, put it in quotes as to be a dickhead. I was like, oh, this fucking sci-fi movie wasn't realistic? What a piece of shit. Like, and then someone commented on it and was like, I saw the movie and like the hate that movie deserved all the fucking hate it got, and I was like, oh, and I literally, so Facebook has your name, so I was like, oh, I'm sorry that like Lawrence Johnson didn't like the movie, so that automatically makes it bad. And then he was like, and then he sent a screenshot of like its Rotten Tomatoes score, its Metacritic score. Like, say it had a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which actually isn't that bad. You know, like 50%. We like movies I like movies that have like 15% sometimes.
Yeah, and shit, our favorite movie of all time, Morbius, has like 1 million rating on there.
Yeah, and then I literally sent them a screenshot of like the Bohemian Rhapsody, like Rotten Tomatoes, which got a 60 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, this movie got 10% higher on Rotten Tomatoes and has 4 Oscars. Like, clearly, like,
I mean, shit. Just send him the fucking thing for what was that weird fucking show about like the children that do fucking pageantry that was really weird, Cuties, whatever.
Oh, Cuties.
Yeah, just send him the fucking
got like a 90 or something.
Yeah, send him just the score of that and be like, all right, cool. So yeah, so you know, that's not a thing I would Google on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hate that people are like, because they don't like it, they're like, it's bad. Like another example, movie that I think is bad. It's not bad because clearly people love it. Is Knives Out?
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
Universally loved, pretty much. It's so there's a did you see Hell or High Water?
That sounds familiar.
All right, that was all right. Well, there are movies that come out, in my opinion, that have just amazing acting.
Mm-hmm.
Like the acting is so out there. Like So okay, Knives Out it's basically Clue.
Yep.
Someone gets killed, and it's a whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, it's like a big famous cast, like Chris Evans.
Yep.
Spoiler: Chris Evans, the person who killed him. Spoiler. And then, there is a main character in it, and she is like the family is trying to frame her for killing him the whole time, the person. But like, it's obvious. Watch it. It's like a twist. It's like, oh, Chris Evans did it. I'm like, it's obvious he did it. He had the most to gain. He's the one that like was the least cooperative. It's like obviously he's the one who killed them. Like he had the most. Like what are we talking about here? And so like there are movies that like are just acted out so great, but the plot and the writing and like the story just aren't there. Like Hell or High Water, it's a Chris Pine, Ben Foster movie about them like these two brothers robbing banks, and it's like these two brothers just robbing banks and like the story's weak, you know. It's just like another cookie cutter, like basic generic story.
You know, I got one that I feel is a similar in that aspect, where it's like I think the acting in it is great, but like everything else about it is kind of a little bit meh. Shit, let me look it up so I actually remember the fucking full name of it now.
That's my thing, is that like the movie is like what it's you know, like it's predictable, it's whatever. Like the acting was amazing, so like that's like makes it that like is what people are like, oh my god. I'm like, yeah, sure. It's like, oh my god. It's basically every Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Jake Gyllenhaal is an amazing actor, but his movies aren't like good.
Yeah. The assassination. Yes.
Of the coward Jesse James.
Nope, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I thought the acting in that movie was incredible, but it's one of those movies where it's like you kind of know where it's going to go to an extent, and like it's just like I feel like there's a lot of very weak scenes, but then there's a lot of just like the acting themselves by Brad Pitt and what the fuck is
saw it.
Casey Affleck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the relationship
he plays the Robert Ford.
Yeah. He does a real good job with it, bro. This is one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Yeah. Like literally one of my favorite movies. I would probably put this in my top 25 movies of all time. Like I think it's just a fantastic movie. It's done very well. The musical like score in it is really good, but then also having it be so it's like there's no one main actor, so it's like Robert Ford and Jesse James are both kind of depending on the scene and the sequence. That's the main character of the movie. All depends on what scene and sequence you're in.
So I'm like, I've always had like weird like big ensemble casts. I'm like, I always think that the story usually falls short. Like, you know, like the Death on the Nile. There's that fucking Murder on the Orient Express. They are coming out with another one. There was like a Bullet Train movie with Brad Pitt. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I can't remember the name of it. That one, I'm actually super excited for that one. The cast for that is looks pretty crazy.
Let me click on Mr. Brad Pitt's name here on the Wikipedia.
Bradley Pitt.
Yeah, let's take a look at the old filmography. Let's see here. Bullet Train. So Bullet Train. So Brad Pitt, Joey King, and Taylor Johnson, which I got something funny to end the podcast with on him.
Joey King?
Tyree Henry. Yep, Joey King's in it.
Oh, I thought you said Joey King, him, and I was like, isn't that a girl?
Michael Shannon. Bad Bunny. Okay. Sandra Bullock.
Ooh!
Zazie Betts, Logan Lerman
from Daredevil, not Daredevil.
Deadpool.
That's it.
Yeah. Karen Fukuhara.
Okay.
Masi Oka.
It takes place in Japan,
yes.
So big Japanese class.
Trained killer Ladybug wants to give up the life, but is pulled back in by his handler, Marie Beetle, in order to collect a briefcase on a bullet train heading from Tokyo to Kyoto. On board the train, he and other competing assassins discover their objectives are all connected.
It's Smoking Aces.
Yeah,
it's Smoking Aces.
Smoking Aces on a train.
Which is like because I'm glad we both were like, that movie's awesome. It's like, that movie is just, that's just so, okay, that's like a movie that is, the cast, like the acting's fun, the story's like whatever, it's just a fun, self-aware movie.
I mean, shit,
you know, I don't know.
If we, let's go.
And the cast is crazy. Because it was like a lot of actors like early on before their careers really popped, like Ryan Reynolds, Chris Pine.
So Ben Affleck,
Joel, yeah,
Ryan Reynolds, Andy Garcia, Chris Pine, Common. Ben Affleck as Jack Dupree, a wood-weary Las Vegas bail bondsman who was hired to bring Buddy Israel back from Lake Tahoe and
oh, he's like he's in a quick scene. That's right.
Jeremy Piven, Ray Liotta, rest in peace. Tommy Flanagan. It's just and like the list goes on and on and on.
Joel Edgerton.
Yep, Joel Edgerton's all the way down here. Yep, Matthew Fox. One of my favorite, Kevin Durant.
The basketball player?
No, he's the big motherfucker.
We got Guy Ritchie. Yeah,
Alicia Keys.
Like Alicia Keys. Yeah, she's a bad bitch.
She is a bad bitch in this.
There are a lot of Guy Ritchie movies I haven't seen. Still, I still need to see like Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. I need to see Rock and Rolla. There's a couple I need to see.
So Kevin Durand, is
basketball player?
No. He's just a big motherfucker though. He's
yeah, he plays basketball.
He played the Blob in X-Men Origins Wolverine. If you remember that piece of shit.
Yeah.
See, for me, one of his best roles, honestly, has been from Swamp Thing.
Oh, I know who he is.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
He's one of those guys that like you see every now and then, and he's just like, it's like, yeah, this dude fucks.
Yeah, no. I actually didn't know his name, but I like him. I like him a lot. I liked him a lot in Smoking Aces. So, yeah, he died from. I think he might have died from a chainsaw. I know one of the brothers died from a chainsaw.
I think it's him.
I think it was the little guy.
So Guy Ritchie movies, just looking at it here. Oh yeah, we could easily do a Guy Ritchie episode.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'd have to watch. I would either have to watch a couple of these or rewatch a couple of them. But I mean, wait, there's no fucking way, right? Oh
Aladdin.
No! I know how you knew exactly what I was talking about too by me going, "Oh no!"
I actually think Aladdin was very good.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually very good. It's the best of the live action Disney remakes they did. I
still have a theory on why they're doing live action Disney remakes.
Money?
Nope. I mean, obviously money, but like there's an actual psychological reasoning behind it.
Nostalgia?
So, yes, most kids that watch the original Disney movies when they first came out are around our age now, right? Our age, a little bit older. So people our age and a little bit older have kids.
Yeah.
So when a movie like Aladdin or Lion King comes out, we immediately get invested because we remember the old version of it. So then we show our kids the old version of it, and then we want to go watch the new version because that's the version that they'll know.
Money.
It is. In another 20 to 30 years, watch it again. Another 20 to 30 years, they'll redo it again. And just
I got like 10 to 15 minutes into the Lady and the Tramp one, and I was at a friend's house. I was watching it with my buddy and his girlfriend, and she really wanted to watch it, and we were starting to watch it, and I think it was one of the worst movies I had ever seen. And I was like, can we not? Can we please put something else on? And I was like, all four that put it on, and I was like, this movie is so bad. Can we put something else on? And she's like, you think it's that bad? And I was like, my God. And then she ended up watching it, and she was like, that movie was really bad.
So it's been announced that Guy Ritchie is going to do the Hercules live action.
Oh, well, he honestly fucking killed it with Aladdin. The music was really good. Will Smith didn't punch anyone in that.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. The actor who played Aladdin really killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Really killed it.
I mean, like I'm looking at the filmography, and of course, there's not a whole lot here. But like, you look at this, and it's bangers across the board. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, which is arguably.
I've not seen it. Brad Pitt. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Dags. You got Dags? Dags.
Is that cigarettes?
No, it's dogs.
Cigarettes.
Oh,
okay.
Dogs. Yeah, Dags. You got a dag?
Dogs.
Yeah. Swept Away, which is comedy romance film. Never seen it. Revolver, Rock and Roller, and then this is where it starts to. This is where like it starts to kind of fuck after this is. Then you go Sherlock Holmes. Right.
No, it wasn't Dev Patel. He was
Here, let me bring it up because I
his
got
whole
it right
thing
here.
actually after Aladdin is that he's had trouble finding work. He was in the Jack Reacher TV show, and then he was also in a weird Hulu show that only did one season. It was about the future, but like an alternate timeline in the future.
I'm gonna butcher this
remember
name,
his
but
name.
it's Mena Masad.
That's his name.
That's the name. Yeah. So he went Aladdin, Strange but True, Merging with the Infinite. This is all like movies. So I mean, Lama's Poem was the voice of it, and then the Royal Treatment, where he plays Prince Thomas, is going to be a Netflix film.
Oh, that's a new one where he's like a prince. He's rich.
And then other than that, TV wise, it's one episode recurring, one episode main role. That was the 99, but that was back in 2011. So let's go from when was Aladdin? 2019. So since 2019, he's had two roles. He was
he had a reprisal.
Well, so in Jack Reacher or Jack Ryan, he had one episode, or recurring on one season. Then he had the reprisal, which was his main role, and then he was in one episode of 911 Lone Star.
I actually I watched Reprisal, and I really enjoyed it. It was only one season.
He also did multiple voices in Watch Dogs 2.
That's fun. There's going to be an Aladdin 2, 2025. He's going to be in broad daylight. You said. So
this is where the Guy Ritchie stuff really starts to take off and fuck. Though, you ready for this? Sherlock Holmes, The Game of Shadows.
Those movies are great.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Okay, I didn't know that was him.
King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. The weird movie that's actually fucking awkwardly good. Aladdin.
Yeah.
The Gentleman. Wrath of Man. Like from 2009 onwards, he hasn't missed, in my opinion.
Well, The Gentleman got a lot of mixed reviews. I saw it in theaters with actually my buddy last night who we were playing UFC with. We saw it in theaters and we love it. We talked about The Gentleman last night.
I've seen bits and pieces of it online. I haven't fully seen it, but the bits and pieces that I've seen of it online, I'm immediately just like, yeah, I fuck with this movie, 100%.
Yeah.
So I think it might just be.
You never saw it?
I just haven't fully seen it.
It's on Netflix right now. You know, on Netflix.
Okay.
Never mind. God, got any fucking.
Okay, so, to end everything, right? I had one thing I was going to say, and then now I've already forgotten what it was. But I do have a new thing that I can say, though.
Okay.
No one plays a better bad guy than Michael Shannon.
The Coach is also one of my favorite characters. It's like he's like very weird.
Who is it? Who is
the
it?
Coach is in.
No, actor.
Colin Farrell.
Okay, yeah.
Gentleman.
Yeah. Yes.
He is my favorite Guy Ritchie character, but he's my second favorite Colin Farrell character. It's
okay.
It might actually be my favorite Colin Farrell character too. Penguin's really good though. All right, won't get distracted. What we were gonna say?
Michael Shannon is one of the best actors to be a bad guy. If you need a bad guy, Michael Shannon.
Did you see Rush?
No, but I've seen Man of Steel with him as Zod, and that's all I will ever need to see.
Yeah. Okay.
Him as Zod is arguably the best villain in all of comic book movies. I'm gonna throw that out there right now. Good. Like,
there's okay. Well, I'm taking away from that. I'm hijacking.
Okay, hijack it.
So there's a movie called Premium Rush.
Okay.
Premium Rush, not Rush. Premium Rush. It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Michael Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Shannon is a corrupt cop, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a bicycle courier named Wyatt.
Oh,
right. And his whole thing is like, I ride 50 bikes. They don't have gears. They don't have brakes. Brakes kill you. You know,
I think I've either seen. I don't think I've seen it, but I've seen trailers and clips of it.
Yeah, I watched it again like 6 months ago. It's just a fun movie. It's bad. It's bad.
I remember the second thing now that I was going to say, so I'm going to let you go with your thing, and then we can end it with my last thing.
God, I didn't even think of one this week. I didn't.
So this one, unfortunately, involves a actor/movie that we've talked about before.
You go for it, because I might not have one this week.
Okay, so I want to get my sources up real quick. So
yeah.
Okay, let me see here. Rumored leak reveals the plot. This might be what I want to see here. What the fuck? Oh, I think I found it. Okay. So, Aaron Taylor Johnson. We talked about him before, right? We both dig him, right?
He's going to be in Bullet Train.
He's going to be Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, we talked about that, yeah.
However, there's news.
He's not going to hunt. He's not going to hunt things.
He's against hunting. So Russell Crowe apparently is going to be playing the original Kraven the Hunter, who's now retired, and his son is Aaron Taylor Johnson, a millionaire activist who is against the hunting of animals.
Okay.
The entire concept of the fucking character.
Is that DC or is that Marvel?
Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there's more and more things coming out about it, but like that's the main thing. Like he's gonna go post credit. Okay, so apparently there's post credits. They've like already like announced everything about the movie, so I don't give a fuck because it's online. So I'm just gonna read this anyway because I don't care. He's now known as Kraven without the Hunter. And learns over the radio of a major robbery in New York that has left several injured, caused, according to the press, by a vulture and a vampire, and Kraven decides to go hunt them down.
Kraven the Pussy Hunter, and more like it.
Like he's
cruising for puss.
I fucking read that online, and I'm like, you're telling me that they're basically saying like they're taking the character and taking the main aspect of him and just nope.
Well, I guess technically he's not the Kraven the Hunter because he's son of Kraven, right? Technically.
So it says the character played by Russell Crowe in the film is Vladimir Kravinoff, the original Kraven the Hunter, and is now retired. Yeah. He has a son, Sergei Kravinoff, played by
Sergei.
So this has all been adapted from the comics by reversing the characters. In Marvel Comics, Vladimir is the son and Sergei is the father. So they're just flipping. Sure. Whatever. Like I
have no ties to it. I don't care.
This thing is like I didn't care either. I just found it incredibly hilarious.
It's the Disney-fied thing because like the same thing's going on with Star Wars where people are like, God, what happened that people were upset about this time?
Oh, it was the fucking the sister, right? The fourth sister or something like that? The third sister?
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't the racist thing. It was something else. No, there was like something where like it was like a really bad, like evil character, and they like pussified him. I think it might have even been Darth Vader, but They like really pussified a character.
Was it? Oh wait,
was it
was it the Grand Inquisitor?
Nope.
No, maybe it was Vader then.
No.
I don't know. I've seen so many bits and pieces from that fucking show. I don't know how people can be mad about it. There's there's so many fucking good. Like from what I've seen, it looked good. Like it, hands down.
I think it's the weakest Star Wars property they've put out since Disney took over.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it wasn't bad. It was just the weakest.
Now, okay, so here's my question then. Do you think it was, and this is how we'll wrap everything up. Do you think it was the weakest because you're involving such large names as Kenobi and Vader, so your expectation is higher? Whereas with the Mandalorian, with all these other shows, you're just kind of like, whatever, it's Star Wars. Oh, this is cool.
No. I think that like the whole Kenobi story. Like I would have really liked to see, because they could have done anything. Why? They have Luke and Leia. It's about Luke and Leia more or less. We didn't really need.
Mm-hmm.
Another story about Luke and Leia.
I've saw bits and pieces involving those two. It's kind of it's like I feel like it's almost like the same thing with it was almost like the same with me with Gotham. Like they said it wasn't going to be about Bruce Wayne, and then this entire fucking thing
then they made it about Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I can see it being like that. I mean, and it's kind of, unfortunately, it's part of the role of having those two characters involved in that age and the whole, but like, no, I can see that.
It just was like, the show was literally like about like him being a babysitter for 6 episodes.
Yeah, see, so that's the thing is like with me seeing the bits and pieces that I saw then, I didn't see any of that stuff. I saw bits and pieces of it, but not.
Because you saw the good parts. We were only like 10 minutes.
Like I love like just the idea of like there's one part where like I don't know if it's.
Did you see the chase scene?
The chase scene.
There's a comic. It's like a comically bad chase scene.
Is it the one in the woods? Is it the one in the woods where Leia like goes under a log and a grown ass woman runs up to it and goes oh, and then runs off? Yeah, I saw that. I don't think I've cringed this hard, or at least I haven't in a while.
It was like a whole sequence. It was like a whole like. There's like 4 or 5 people chasing her, and they just can't get her. And she's like a fucking 9-year-old girl. Actually, they kept saying she was 10, and I was like, no, wait. Like, I've been around 10-year-olds. I've been around 5-year-olds. I was like, this girl looks and acts like she is 5. And I looked it up, and she is 10 years old. And I was like, okay, never mind. I like the idea of the show, right? Because Kenobi is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, and I like the idea of kind of him having the PTSD and kind of like, him being all right. Here's
uneasy at times.
Last thing, we're ending it. Yeah. We're ending it with this. Kenobi. The whole point of Kenobi in the series is to find himself as a Jedi, because he kind of like, Jedis were outcast. They're hunted and killed. He just becomes a normal guy, and then like he's lost touch with the Force of who he was as a Jedi, as a Master Jedi, and then he finds it by the end of the series, and then, but then when they come back with a New Hope, he's a bum again. So like I'm like, what was the whole point of all this if he's just going to be a bum again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what I mean? He's just he's just a bum living in a cave.
I'm wondering what the like.
They could expound on it because they made it open, so there could be more.
Well, because of course one of the things that people always were saying about was like, is Darth Maul coming back, right? So what
Darth Maul's dead.
Well, that's the thing. Is he though? Because in the ending of fucking
Phantom Menace,
no, he's still alive.
Clone Wars.
In the Clone Wars, he's alive. In the and all that, he's alive still.
He dies in the Clone Wars.
Well, he dies too. Kenobi.
So he dies. Yeah. Well,
so my thing is this: that like they could live action that, and that could be a sequence of why he's now kind of gone back to being a hermit. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a way to connect the two. My big thing was that like I liked the PTSD aspect of it. I liked seeing the scene where Vader's mask is cracked, and it's the mix of Hayden's voice and then James Earl Jones's voice.
Yeah.
That scene was like the same one to me as like when Batfleck's helmet's fucked up in Batman vs Superman, and you hear the difference between his voice and then the modulated Batman voice. It's like the same aspect.
Those
it's
scenes
like
were very good.
Like there was
all the
so
Darth
many.
Vader scenes were good.
Oh, but yeah,
I really think it just had the weakest story because it was just like.
Okay.
Also, I have a problem. Like 6-episode seasons are just whack. I'll say it. Like it's too short.
I'll agree with you that.
They had
if you're gonna do,
his name,
if you're gonna do
so bad. Ice Cube's son. They had Ice Cube's son. He was only in like 2 episodes. They like completely wasted him as a character. They had Kumail Nanjiani in it. They completely wasted him as a character. Like they had all these big names to bring people in, and then they just had like they got to the point where they had like 2-3 lines an episode.
How long was each episode? Was it an hour?
Hour.
So 6 hours. So basically 2 movies. Remove a bunch of stupid scenes that aren't needed. 2 movies.
Yeah, but I mean, 6 is too short.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like,
I had the same thing with Moon Knight. Same thing with all the Boba Fett.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is that like if you think about like for instance, let's just go off the chart with this Green Arrow, 22 episode seasons.
There's a half.
But like that's the thing though. Like for me, it's like I think that it needs to be one of those things where it's like, can you physically make it into 3 to 4 movies? If it's 3 to 4 movies, then that's a good length for a TV show, right?
I think 8 to 13 episodes is like the sweet spot.
See, I would push it.
The sweet spot.
I would push it to like 10 to 15.
Okay. A similar number.
Yeah.
22 is way too many.
Oh yeah, no,
6 is way too few.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
Yeah, it's like 4 times as long.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my thing. I'm like, it's almost like they're trying to create people like the want for more.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's like I don't know. Like I just feel empty at the end.
Yeah, I can see that. Right. So this is our top 5 horror movies.
Tangents.
And tangents and random shit. I will. Who should I ask? Who should I just send a message out to and be like, what should our next movie list be? Who should I ask?
Did John gave us this one, right?
John gave us this one, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That's a good question.
Oh, we'll find out. Next week, another top 5 list. Who the fuck knows what it is, but
surprise, you'll find out.
Yeah, you'll find out when we find out.
We'll find out. Yeah.
But so let us know what your guys' top 5 movies are down in the comments down below. And as always, depending on where you are, you, the people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, stay trouble, stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye!